That's the bite you gotta take right there. What's going on, everybody? My name is John Serwin, and this is my kitchen. Welcome. Today, I'm gonna show you how I made this. Took a little field trip outside to the grill, made some grilled pork tenderloin, some grilled sweet potatoes, and grilled asparagus. Show the techniques and how it's done coming up. Here we have 2 pork tenderloins. We're just going to take all of this little bit of fat here. The most important thing we have to get rid of, though, is this right here. That's called silver skin. That will not break down. No matter how hot you cook it, how long you cook it, it does not break down, and it actually shrivels up and makes it for a very not tasty bite of food. Sometimes you gotta get intimate with your food, folks. Don't be afraid. There you go. That right there is the silver skin. Let me show you, move that one off to the side, how we get rid of that. Grab a little paper towel. Sometimes you could do it with just your hands. I like to have a little paper towel on hand, just in case. I'll clean up the rest of this stuff later, but let's get to that silver skin. You can always lift it up, kind of go in with a tip of your knife, go underneath, and just bring it all the way to the edge. Kind of tilt it up so you can get more of the silver skin and not too much meat. I'm no professional butcher. I'm sure, yeah, see, there's a little bit of meat, but not bad. Now, you can either sometimes grab it with your hands, and this one's kind of holding on, so I am going to grab it with my hands, but I don't want to grab it. I don't want all of that meat to come off, so I'm going to be careful, just kind of shave it back. And there you go. There's one piece of silver skin. Just discard that because that's not going to do any good. That, see, not a professional butcher. That's why it doesn't look pretty, but hey, I'll get better at it. Remember, go in with your tip and just slide on down, and then come back, slide it up. And make sure you get every little piece. Be like scrutinized. Get every piece, because like I said, this will not cook down. Sometimes it can dive underneath some of this part of the muscle, so just check it out. I'm going to finish off cleaning up this one, and we'll be back. Here's what our pork tenderloin looks all cleaned up. I also want to show, so when you're making little cuts, and right, you're going to have these little nicks and whatnot. One of the guys I watch on YouTube, which, hey, one of these days would be awesome to be able to collaborate with, Chud's Barbecue, Bradley Robinson from Chud's Barbecue, he calls it a Chud scrape. So you'll sit there and literally just scrape it, and that gets off all of the little tiny nicks, and it makes it look nice. I have 2 of these. I'm going to finish up the second one, and we will get ready to dry brine. Every pork tenderloin is going to be slightly different. Again, there's that silver skin, and this one might dive underneath the meat a little bit. You could literally peel this fat off. Just be careful not to peel off some of the meat with it. If you're going too aggressive, you can get some of the meat. And if you get to that point, just grab your knife again and nip it off. This one's a little different. It's going to, you can see it, it's going to run underneath the meat a little bit. So you want to make sure you get all of that off. I'll show you what I mean. So again, you can always go up underneath it, start, get underneath, and start pulling. Now this is where I grab, pull this way, work your knife back and forth, and there you go. Now with this route, we are going to be going underneath this meat here. You might have to sacrifice a little bit of meat, but so be it. There we are. You can see right there. It kind of continued on all the way to there. So, hey, we lost a tiny bit of meat, but no big deal. It's more important to get all of this silver skin off. Remember, when you're ever cutting towards yourself, take your time, go slow. Don't have to go wild with it. I'll finish cleaning this one up, but actually it doesn't look too shabby right now. I'm going to clean up some of the scraggly bits, and I'll show you how we are going to dry brine this. I know I've explained this before in videos, but I always have a bucket, especially if I'm using poultry, pork, anything, and I'm not setting it on here. So this is just about a gallon of water. I have one little tiny drop of dish soap in there, and about a capful, or call it a teaspoon, of bleach. And this is what I will dip my hands in, I dip my rag in, and I will sanitize this workspace. Here are our 2 cleaned up pork tenderloins that we are going to grill whole on a charcoal grill. I love brining anytime I'm using pork or poultry. I do some sort of brine. This is technically going to be a dry brine. What we're going to do is, I got kosher salt in here. I'm going to season with my right hand. Just remember, go high. And we are going to season up with a bunch of kosher salt. Think of it this way. We are actually using kosher salt for what it is designed for. We are koshering or dry brining And remember to keep a good procedure. Right hand will be seasoning, left hand will be turning. I should probably do this other one first though, huh? What do you think? We're gonna let this sit for about 1 hour. Always seasoning high. Remember, you season high to get an even disbursement. And say if you missed a few spots, that's when you can go ahead, season low and get the spots you wanna hit. I'm gonna flip this over, do the other side, and we will let this sit for 1 hour in the fridge. We are going to be grilling up some sweet potatoes with our pork tenderloin. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep these up, wash them down a little bit. I am not going to peel them. I'm gonna wash them and slice them up. All we did was rinse them under some cold water, and I'm just gonna take a paper towel and kind of get if there's any more surface dirt or anything off. All right, gonna take our sweet potato. I like to cut off the tips a little bit here. Sweet potatoes are quite hard to get through, so get a nice sharp knife. So go right in half. And then I'm just gonna cut these kind of straight down as, yeah, thick steak fries is the best way I could put it. There we go. And then we're gonna season these up, but yeah, you just grill them that side, grill them on that side, and you'll be golden. I'm gonna finish up the rest of these and show you my seasoning. We have 4 sweet potatoes that have been sliced up. They're all about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch. We are going to season these up. In order to season these things up nicely, I like to take a gallon-sized plastic bag, put them all inside. For a lot of my vegetables, I like doing it in plastic bags. I try to avoid plastic and seed oils as much as I can, but guess what? Sometimes they are necessary. I'm gonna go in with some olive oil. This is all gonna be kind of eyeballed because whatever sticks, sticks, except for salt. Salt is the one you gotta be kind of careful of. So, squeezer of olive oil, probably about 2 tablespoons. And I like to treat sweet potatoes like I treat pork. I'm gonna go in with some onion powder, and I am a heavy-handed seasoner. I like heavy-handed seasoning because what you really got to focus in on is the salt. The salt is what really brings out the seasoning. If you do yourself an experiment, try to eat something with just seasoning on there with no salt. See how it tastes. It's not going to taste the same. Salt brings out flavor and everything. Going to go in with garlic powder. These will all be probably right around, I would say, a tablespoon. We have smoked paprika. Now we're going to get into about a teaspoon. We're going to go black pepper and probably a 1/2 teaspoon of some cayenne pepper. Get that little bit of heat on there. It really makes it pop nicely. What I'm going to do is probably eyeball about, I would say, 1 tablespoon of salt. And we can always adjust later on. Reason I like plastic bags, now I'm going to go ahead, seal it up, and then now you can just maneuver it all around. Like the old, who remembers the old shake and bake? This is kind of the same process, and this should get it all seasoned up. And sometimes you got to really make sure you close that zipper, because that can happen. Lovely. All right, let me clean this up and finish off season these bad boys. Really make sure you close that double zipper so you can avoid catastrophes like I just had. There we go. That's how they look. They're all nice and seasoned. The other thing we're going to serve with our pork is some nice asparagus. It's springtime here in Chicago, so asparagus is starting to come into season nicely. I like to get the thicker stalks if possible, and what I like to do is I keep this bottom rubber band on and this top rubber band. It's about 2 inches maybe, and cut just above it. That makes so you get rid of all of that fibrous parts. I'm sure other people have other ways, but this is what I like to do. If you have other ways, comment below and let me know if you prep it up some other ways. I've seen people peel it off with a peeler. This always seems to work for me. We have about 2 pounds of asparagus already cut up, and guess what we're going to use again? Plastic bag. Take off the rubber band, save those bad boys. You can give them out as gifts. Going to go in with a good squeezer of olive oil, about 3 tablespoons, about a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon onion powder. Again, not exact measurements, eyeball it out, but once you get comfortable enough, that's what you'll do. And then 2 pinchers of salt. So 1, 2, call it about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit over. Remember, we could always add more, easier to add more salt than to take away, right? Guess what we're gonna do? Really make sure we have this sealed up so it doesn't blow open. And then give a good mix around. All seasoned up, we will set these to the side. All right, we got a little bit of an adventure outside, field trip, if you will. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the charcoal grill set up here. what I like to do, take my charcoal chimney. I have my old charcoal that's been in here. I'm going to first put in a little bit of new charcoal just to cover up the bottom. And hey, we're gonna have to get dirty, but put our old charcoal that's semi-used, not fully used. Top it off with some fresh. We're gonna do a whole entire full chimney's worth. What I like to use is this is just part of the old bag of charcoal, and then a fire starter, which is just like Vaseline and a little bit of wood. Woo! You gotta watch the wind though. We're gonna crumple these up a little bit, get them all underneath. This way they'll kind of burn a little bit slower. And actually we'll get our fire starter underneath there. Take a stick burner, get that fire starter lit up, and that'll catch everything. We're gonna let that go for about a good 20 minutes to get all of this charcoal roaring. Not sure if you can pick it up on camera, but there's some flame starting to come through. So I am going to pour this out. Be careful once you do. Put this underneath, add a little bit of some fresh coals. I like to just even it out a touch, which what I'm gonna do right now. Put our grate on, make sure our bottom air vent is open, close it up, have our top air vent open, and we're gonna let this go for about a good 15 minutes. Get it all heated up throughout. For our seasoning for the pork tenderloin, we are gonna go in with half a teaspoon black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of everything else you see here. Cumin, smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, rubbed sage. There's our seasoning mixture. We are gonna go in with the juice and zest of 1 lime. Here we go, zest of 1 lime. There you go, zest of 2 clementines. If you had a regular orange, go ahead and do the zest of 1, but I'm gonna do 2 clementines and the juice of 2 clementines. So in here we have the zest of 1 lime, zest of 2 clementines, all of our seasonings, and remember, no salt. We already salted and dry brined the pork tenderloins. So in with the lime, juice of 1 lime, 2 clementines, juice of 2 clementines. Next, go in with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and to kick up the acidity a little bit more, about 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar. Give this a nice quick whisk. There we go. That's how we want the consistency, because we are going to put this all over our pork tenderloins. Before we do that, I got a little experiment. I want to save some of this, about 2 big dollops full. I'm going to add a little bit more to this alone. Apple cider vinegar here. Make it a little bit more runny, because this will be our post marinade. Pre-marinade, post marinade. I'm going to give that a little experiment, see if how well it works out. There are our 2 pork tenderloins that have been in the fridge for an hour dry brining. You can see kind of like a pellicle that is formed. So into the seasoning we go. And I'm just going to move this all around. Get it all coated up. There we are. Time to do some grilling. Time to square away our grate. We're just going to give it a little quick scrape down. A little spray with some avocado oil. Just be careful not to let the fire get back up in. Ooh, yep, like that. Don't worry, folks, I'm a professional. Let that burn off for about a minute. We're gonna grill up all of our sweet potatoes and asparagus first. Because asparagus doesn't need much time, the sweet potatoes take a little more time, but we're gonna throw the asparagus right in the center. Get this all grilled up. All right, do some maneuvering around. Just get a nice little char on our asparagus first. All right, all but 2 asparagus are done, so I'm gonna take these off, because remember, they'll steam a little bit too. Don't wanna fully cook them, because you do want a little bit of crunch. We're gonna blast these sweet potatoes with some heat too. Now that the pork tenderloins are on there, about every minute, I am just gonna keep flipping these until the internal temperature hits 140 degrees. Been about 1 minute, and we are gonna give it a flip. Remember, I just want to flip this probably every minute on the minute, so I will start a timer. And we'll be back when I pull these off. All right, there we go. They hit internal temperature of 140 degrees. Gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes and slice it up. That is a good looking grilled dinner. There we go. We have this has now been resting. Let's see what it's rested down to, because I pulled it at 140. It probably went up to 145. Oh yeah, we're starting to come down now. And in the excitement of filming, I forgot to put the post marinade on there. Well, that'll just have to, maybe I'll do it now. Well, maybe that'll be part of the experiment. Realistically, I should have taken it off and put it right into the bag with the post marinade. But we're gonna do it now and hey, maybe see what goes on. I'm gonna roll it up. It's still resting down, so we're gonna give that a shot and give these a cut in about 5 minutes. All right, time to slice on through, see how she turned out. That is a perfect pork tenderloin to me. That's the one without post marinade. Here's the one with post marinade. Oh man, do those look good. All right, nothing left to do but plate it up and test it out. And there you have it, folks. That is some grilled pork tenderloin, asparagus, and sweet potatoes. One of my favorite simple little meals. You can always sub out the grilled pork tenderloin for chicken and fantastic, light, little healthy meal. We did do one pork tenderloin with a post marinade and one with a just regular marinade. We did the dry brine, we did the marinade, and yeah, nothing left to do but give it a shot. Let's be honest. This is bite size for me. I'm not gonna cut this up. This is the one that is not post marinated. Man, charcoal grilling. Like, this is why I don't have propane and I don't use propane at home. Charcoal gives that whole other depth of flavor that just can't be compared to anything else. Man, that is so good. Let's go ahead and give the sweet potato a shot. Oh, you know what? Sweet potato and a piece of pork here. That's the bite you got to take right there. Put a little sweet potato with the pork tenderloin. Holy crap, that is so good. Yeah, go ahead and give this one a shot. Grilling a whole pork tenderloin is not that difficult. You just watch it, keep flipping it every minute, watch your temperatures, and you get it to that perfect juiciness. I mean, if you want to take a look, like, it's got that juiciness still, and it's so good. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. Well, got to give some love to the asparagus. That charcoal grilled asparagus, man. Let me know what's in the comments. Are you guys team charcoal or team propane? Yeah, I mean, you know what I am, 100% through and through, team charcoal. Granted, I do use propane at the firehouse, but at home, nothing but charcoal. All right, thanks for stopping by, guys. Greatly appreciate it. And remember, you're only making food out of ingredients till you sit down and share them with the ones you love. Then it's a meal. All right, guys, can't thank you enough. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these videos. I'm having a blast doing them, so I'll keep them coming. All right, guys, till next time.